beer, sports. Join Sean and Brad as they talk about sports and share a beer. From the east coast of Canada to the west coast of the United States. Over to you, boys.
Hey everybody, hey, what's happening? What's good with you? Guys, Beer Sports. Brad Tesh coming to you from the west coast of the United States. As always, with me, my talented, exotic, over-talented, maybe big-headed co-host, Sean Valancourt, coming to us live from Toronto. And with us, our longest tenured guest, fourth time, Mr. Ryan, fresh back off the boat. Ryan, hello.
Hey, guys. Thanks for inviting me back. I'm glad to be here. I never know why you call me. Here I am. I'm happy.
Because you're a joy to talk to. You see, I got to talk to you this time.
Yeah,
well, I think I'm talking to Sean all the time, folks. We'll let you know we're actually on a list for a podcast award, which is fascinating and unbelievable. And
all right, not just a. It is the Sports Podcast Award. Yeah. We're in stiff, like we're in competition. There's other categories, of course. We're in the news and current affairs category, and against us, we have our own category. There's like 6 people in there. But there's other sports podcasts that are out there, like Talk is Jericho, the MMA Hour with Ariel Harwani. So we're in the mix. We're in the conversation.
Anyway, go log in, go vote, get us up there, and let's see what happens.
Well,
Sean,
so
by
bringing me on, it's either going to get you those votes or people are going to really turn this show off. So I'll do my part to get you the votes that you need to get.
Our best
I appreciate that.
Involve you, Ryan. So.
Yeah. So just remember, guys, go to www.Sports Podcast Awards. Look under category number 10, News and Current Affairs. Guys, Beer Sports. We're number 3 right now. We could be number 1. We could be.
Forgive Sean for the www. He doesn't know any better. He's a Luddite.
There we go. Brad explained it perfectly. Hey, boys. How are you guys doing today? You know what, Brad? I missed you. I had to do the hosting last time there. It was no joy, although Tristan was really good. I was glad he was on, you know.
Yeah, he seemed to hold it down. I want to get Tristan's take now that his Chargers bumbled away the playoffs, but that's for.
I wanted to get into that too, man, because that's ridiculous what I watched last night. But that was.
Ryan, do you know anything about the NFL playoffs or what happened yesterday?
Please do tell. I'm here for.
Okay. I'll give you a scenario, and you tell me how you feel about it.
Okay.
So. Yesterday's the last day of the NFL regular season, right? Okay. And there's a night game, and it's between the Oakland, Las Vegas, whatever their names are, Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers. They're division opponents. It's important to know they're division opponents, right? Records are the same, and so it becomes an interesting game if the 3-win Jacksonville Jaguars can defeat the Indianapolis Colts, and the Colts had to win to go to the playoffs.
So the Colts,
they're playing Jacksonville.
The Colts had to win. There was 2 games the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
Where it was win and get in.
The Colts lost last week. So if they won, they controlled their own destiny. If they won, they got in this week. And they're playing the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars, who are having a protest of the fans. The fans were all encouraged to dress as clowns to protest their management. Right? That's how. Wow. That's where the Jacksonville folks are.
Oh boy.
So if Indianapolis loses, they're likely out of the playoffs. But what that puts in play is that if the Chargers or the Raiders won, whichever team won was going to go to the playoffs, or if that game ended in a tie, both teams would go to the playoffs.
And there's another team as well that would have the identical record as the Chargers and the Raiders if there was a tie.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers were on the hook for either making the playoffs or not. So the Pittsburgh Steelers make the playoffs if either team wins, right? But if it's a tie, Pittsburgh's out, and 2 teams that are playing
play each other very next week.
Go to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Fascinating sports. So the game comes on. So
let's not give it away just yet. We'll get into this here though. Let's not give it away just yet. I mean, I'm sure sports fans know it, but this game was intense, Ryan. This game was intense.
I'm feeling it. I can't believe I missed it.
Years, and it's the craziest game I've ever seen in my time.
Okay.
So it was insane.
The Colts come out and get just kicked in the teeth.
Oh, okay, so they lost.
So all of a sudden, like badly, I got smoked. So all of a sudden, this tie is in play, and the NFL Twitter is abuzz with they should just take knees the entire game and just tie, and they could both go to the playoffs. Because why would you risk losing and not going to the playoffs?
We'll get into that. Because I was reading reports, and it's
anyway.
great.
That's where we were at the end of last night. Was the game? So we'll cover it here again in a minute. But think on that for a minute. That like you have a sporting event where if you tie, everybody wins. That's on the field.
That's right.
Well, I have no idea what the outcome is, so I'm looking forward to hearing your take on it.
In the Michael Scott conflict resolution manual, there's a win-win-win situation. That was it.
Nice.
That was a win.
Well, I don't know if you know about Ben Roethlisberger, but he hasn't always been the most stand-up citizen. You know, he's got a lot of enemies outside the city of Pittsburgh, including in Seattle, and so it's his final season, and so if they would have tied, his career would have been over, and he would not have gone to the playoffs.
But now we get to see him
for
for
one more game. The rest
game.
of us very happy, but
yeah, we get to see him.
That's an extra part of that story. Is we'll have to see what happens.
Unbelievable. So having said that, we're going to go in to that game because I didn't want to talk about it. So that'll be the lead off because we have to get right into that. Then I want to be talking about Ryan Rebalkin. He is here specifically because last season he knocked it out of the park with his predictions there. Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the whole thing. We did not have that going on. Plus, on top of that, he also
picked UFC fights.
He picked UFC fights, and he also picked his Habs. Some strange thing going past the Maple Leafs. So we're gonna talk to Ryan.
Ryan is a very talented guy, but first of all, anyone that picks their team to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs that's not a stretch.
Yeah, it wasn't a bold prediction. It wasn't a bold prediction.
Come on, whatever. And then we'll also hear what's new with Ryan, what's going on with him and his podcast there. Which is going
network, right, Ryan? We have a family of podcasts going.
Yes, I can explain that when we get to it for sure.
Yeah, man. Okay, Ryan.
Yeah.
So this game, as Brad was explaining, goes into overtime. Brad, how many points were the Chargers down in the fourth quarter?
They were down 15 points with 4 minutes left, 4.5 minutes left.
That's a big hill to climb.
They converted on 5 of 6 fourth down attempts.
Oh, wow. Did the other team, who was the other team?
The Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Were they obviously weren't trying to tie it, were they? They weren't trying to tie it.
They were not.
Not in regular.
They were upset they gave it back. So the game went to overtime. On the final play of the game, the Raiders gave up like a 18-yard touchdown pass to a guy in double coverage. He had no business catching the football. It's unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
They go to overtime. And everyone's like, oh, here we go. Like, let's all kneel down. And guess what happened? They did not kneel down.
Oh, did you hear about that, though? Why they didn't kneel down? Is the head coach of the Chargers.
I thought the anthems were played at the beginning.
They are. Look at those current events. So they go down and they kick a field goal. The Oakland or the Las Vegas team does. It's so hard for me to say Las Vegas. It's very hard for me. They kick a field goal, and then the Chargers come down and they also kick a field goal. But now there's only 2 minutes left in the game. 2 or 4 minutes, I guess. 4 minutes left in the game. So Las Vegas gets the ball back, and they're kind of just messing around. They get to, the 50-yard line. They're just running some pretty, generic vanilla runs, not doing much. And, it's kind of running the clock out. It's 33 seconds left, 38 seconds left.
38 seconds.
The Los Angeles coach, for whatever reason, calls timeout. It appears to everyone that they're just going to slow play this game. All they have to do is take one more snap, right? One more snap, and the game is over.
Yep.
And the Los Angeles guy calls a timeout. And it would appear, in watching it, that the Raiders bench went, oh, really? And they came out, ran the next play, got 10 yards, and kicked a field goal with 2. They called a timeout after that, and then kicked a field goal with 2 seconds left to win the game.
I was just there going, what was Brandon Staley thinking?
He didn't trust him. He was like, he goes, if they don't, I think that he was like, if they don't like hold up, I have to have time left to like get one gasp off. And
because I really think that they were thinking that they were going to take that knee. Yeah. It looked like they were in the formation to take the knee, let the game run out.
Shotgun. I doubt he was going to take a knee. I think he was going to take a snap and just run to the center of the field. Tie, everybody wins. But they also were division rivals, right? You know how that goes.
You don't want to face them again.
Bad blood and a lot of those things there.
Right.
And so I think that when he called the timeout, then everything just boiled over and they're like, oh, okay, well, screw us, well, screw you, watch this.
Oh, and
it made for sweet television.
And Ryan, I don't know if you've been watching the Raiders season, but it's been
I would like to bet that Ryan has not been watching.
It's been
for a multitude of reasons, Sean.
Yeah, mainly because he hasn't been within the continent. Yeah, but
sure.
One, he doesn't like football, and two,
I don't mind the game at all. I'll watch the football game around the halftime show sometimes. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but you must have heard of John Gruden. No. Okay, because that was kind of big news about these emails that came out when he was the host of Monday Night Football, and his brother, I believe, was the head.
2011 and 2013, John Gruden was misogynistic, homophobic, and a bunch of other words there.
Is he a player?
No, coach.
Oh. Maybe one of the best coaches in the history of the game.
Other than his flaws, he's a good coach, maybe not a great person.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically
right.
Yeah.
Fantastic professional, terrible individual.
Right.
So you had that going on, and then you had one of the wide receivers, young guy, I think 22, 23, Henry Ruggs, was drunk, went driving, and he killed a 19-year-old female driver.
Oh boy.
He had a brand new Corvette, Ryan, and he was going 163 miles an hour at impact.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible.
At a stoplight. Yeah.
So the Raiders had all that going on in the background of the season, and they still somehow managed to pull off a berth to the playoffs. So, I mean, hats off to them. It's so roundabout, but what a game. That's all I had to say. That was absolutely unbelievable. Brad, you know how in Major League Baseball they start all the games, the last game of the season, all at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I actually had a buddy of mine going, because he's a huge baseball guy, doesn't watch football. It's his first season watching football. He's watching it just because of me, because I love football. I love talking football. So then he goes, do they start all the games at the same time? I go, no, because the NFL's got major TV rights and major.
If you look at how they do set it up, though, they set it up pretty well where, like, you got to be scoreboard watching. You typically don't start a game knowing what your outcome is before you start.
Yeah.
You might learn in the fourth quarter. We saw it happen a couple times yesterday, but you're not going to know before kickoff. I don't mind the way the NFL does it, actually. I think it's nice.
I think it's great because everybody's just going and you have to win.
I really hate the way baseball does it, to be honest with you, because you can't watch all the games. Like, you're missing all these awesome storylines that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Well, it just makes me wonder, too. Is like, you think all these guys are scoreboard watching what they're going to, let's drop a game so they can come into the postseason. Like, nobody's ever going to drop a game.
Well, I think it's more that if you know the outcome's in your favor, you'll rest your starters.
Which is, so that's maybe their unfair thing. Yeah.
You saw it anyway, right? You saw a lot of teams that had nothing to play for pulling their starters out going to the fourth. That had playoff implications.
Yeah. And that's just smart football, really. I mean, at the end of the day,
it was so fascinating to watch because there's two teams, Ryan, that were going for the number one pick in the draft, which is the opposite of winning the playoffs.
Right. No, I follow hockey. If it's the same way, or at least my Montreal Canadiens. Well, if you want to talk about that later, Sean, I'd love to hear your take on that. But I deserve whatever vitriol you'll send my way, but I don't, but the team does. But anyways, if it's the same thing, bottom teams get the first picks, right? It's the same.
Oh, but wait a second though, because
both those guys won. Both the guys in the NFL won. Yeah. Like, they didn't give a shit about the first round. They're like, whatever. Like, they were trying. They both won their games. It was awesome.
What did that tell you about the first round draft picks this year, though?
That they're
nobody wants them. Nobody wants them.
It's a weak draft class, but they're both those organizations are headed by dudes that are pretty. That leadership group doesn't care about draft position as much as they care about culture and winning and those things. So it wasn't a surprise to watch them be competitive.
So it's funny because like Ryan, you were mentioning about the draft in the NHL, but don't forget that they have that lottery for the first, what is it, 7?
I don't know what number it goes up to. I heard it's like a 1-4 chance or something like that.
Ridiculous.
So it's like
Is it like the NBA? You know, the NBA is rigged.
Yeah, just exactly
more
like that.
ping pong balls. If you have it, like the worse record you have, the more ping pong balls you have.
Right.
And
yeah,
maybe
that's your
New York
chances.
Knicks. Yeah, maybe for the New York Knicks, you freeze some of the ping pong balls to get Patrick Ewing in '85. So that's it's a whole other story. Just saying, I don't know how it works or how LeBron ends up getting to Cleveland. A once in generational talent from a team that just magically gets the first overall pick.
Well, that's because he just grew up outside of there. That's exactly that's crazy.
Yeah. The savior of the town is going to also play professional sports there. Maybe, right? Maybe. I don't know.
All right. So, Ryan.
Yes.
Having given you all this information about football, let's get into these football playoffs here. Okay.
I want to ask Brian just one thing. Like, now that you know the story, is there any do you have any feelings about a team intentionally tying to not risk losing the playoffs?
Honestly, I thought that's where that story was going to go because you brought it up, but I don't see anyone doing that. I don't see anyone. I think there's too much pride on the field or on the rink or anywhere on the court. You're gonna play to win. These guys are gonna play to win.
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought that too until like the last 2 minutes, and I saw it playing out, and I was like, man, they're just gonna take the tie. No one wants to risk it.
Yeah.
I looked at it as a divisional thing that you could brag that your division is that much tougher because you got 3 teams in the postseason.
I went the opposite. I think if they wouldn't have been divisionals, they probably would have tied it. Maybe a little more willingly, because you don't want to give your division. It's like, I don't know who's in your division up there, Sean, but maybe like you and the Patriots like to agree to tie.
Well, listen to this guy.
It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, look at your NFC West here, though. I mean, there's your guys are represented. I can't wait to get into this. Like, these matchups.
I said that though earlier. I missed the teams, but I said that at the beginning of the season that the NFC West would have 3 playoff teams.
Yeah. You did.
I was largely shot down by this group, but here we are. And this group being you, Sean.
That's right. Yes. That's true.
Not Ryan.
Yeah. So Ryan, let's just get into it. Okay. So your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the team you call for, they made it to the postseason. They did not get the bye. They didn't get the bye last season either, though. They were a wild card team. They had to play every game on the road.
Right.
Except for the Super Bowl they played at home because it was just so happened.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's my understanding of the Super Bowl. It's just wherever they pick a city, right? It's like the All-Star game. They just pick a city. Okay.
Yeah. So they managed to play at home. First team to ever do that as well. So, which is impressive.
First team to play at home. First team to win at home.
Yeah.
Now, am I doing the first round predictions, or am I just predicting the Super Bowl winner? What's going on?
Oh, I'm going to give you the first round predictions. Then I'm going to ask you,
right?
Who do you see then, out of all that, just your long pick of who's going to be the Super Bowl and who will win? Okay.
Okay.
Sounds fair?
Yeah, let's do it. Who do we got?
Okay.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go down the AFC guys here first, okay?
Sure. I could have maybe 3 teams for the sure.
So on the AFC side, Tennessee Titans gets the bye. So they were the number 1 seed in the whole entire AFC. So they're not playing this week.
Right.
Out of that, though, we have the New England Patriots visiting the Buffalo Bills, divisional rivals.
Okay. Bills next.
I love it. Ryan, all of a sudden, I mean, like, I am so on board. I'm so on board.
First round win so bad. Please, just let him go to two rounds.
All right. So next, then, in the AFC, you just made my day. Wow.
Oh,
next,
good. I'm glad.
Next, then, we got the
well, kids, that's the show.
We got Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers, visiting the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City.
This is a tough one. Part of me, This is tough because when I was a teenager, I used to play the old Madden games on my Sega system, and I was a Pittsburgh Steeler. I picked them all the time to play. I don't know why, but I like their logo. But I don't know any players or how they're doing. So part of me wants to go for Pittsburgh, but I got to give it to the home team, Kansas City, though.
Oh, that's a good pick. That's a good pick because Ben Roethlisberger played for the Pittsburgh Steelers in their probably his last game on the field.
Oh, okay.
Because they're going up against Patrick Mahomes, who was a
so I admit I was going against my heart there. I went with my head.
It's a noble cause, Ryan.
And the last one here.
Do your listeners know that I don't know anything? I mean, okay.
I think we're making it pretty aware.
Okay. All right.
But you got it all right, and somehow you're like, do you remember that in TSN? What was it? Molly the monkey.
I was gonna say, am I that octopus that they,
Well, the octopus. They had that, but they have this monkey in TSN for some strange reason. This chimpanzee that was picking teams out of that.
I'm feeling this weird pressure because I don't know what I'm doing. So I shouldn't have any right getting any of this right to begin with. So there's no anyway.
This is the people that get it right the most, though. The people that win like the basketball pools when the tournament comes on. Like my sister.
Okay. They're not over.
Like they're like, what color are the uniforms? Like, oh, green and they're blue. Oh, I want the blue team to win. And like they end up winning the whole thing because they're just speaking into existence. So if you want to know uniform colors, you let me know.
We'll see how well I do. We'll see it. We'll see.
We will. So far we got Bills, we got Kansas.
You can ask any question you want to ask to pre-qualify your answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
So last one on the AFC side,
right,
is the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, the team we just talked about,
right,
going to Cincinnati, Ohio, against the Cincinnati Bengals.
And I will say this to consider is that the Las Vegas Raiders has played a very emotional overtime game.
I was just gonna say
late on a Sunday. They are playing the first game on Saturday.
Right. So they're
in Cincinnati. They're going from Las Vegas to Cincinnati on a short week, so to speak.
I understand that, but right now the team is they're riding a high right now. They're riding a high. They feel like they can do anything. They want to be that Cinderella team. I think they're going to beat the Bengals.
Okay,
that's a good pick.
I think an emotional win before your next game in a playoff could be a really big factor. Look at the Montreal Canadiens last year. They were the Cinderella team from the very beginning. Once you get that emotional high, it's hard to beat those teams.
Ryan, I don't remember exactly when you left, but I picked your team to beat Toronto, and full disclosure, only because it was going to dig at Sean that I picked them. But then as it kept going, it was so good.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic, and I can't wait to talk about them when it comes to time of that.
Oh, we'll talk about the dirty old Habs.
Yeah, all right.
I was half tempted. To wear a Maple Leafs jersey, but I said no. Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. I'm going to wear this. So.
Okay.
Yeah, half tempted.
You have to mention the Ohio State game for the championship, but
that's exactly it.
In it tonight.
Yeah. They're not. Oh, man. All right. NFC side. So the Green Bay Packers won the bye. They won the games you could win to get the bye. So they're not playing this week. They get a rest. So now the NFC side. First one we got coming up is the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. So San Francisco 49ers going to Dallas to play the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh boy. I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this. Another visiting team, but upset the home team.
Cowboys are at home.
Yeah.
Oh, who's home?
Cowboys.
Oh, they're home. Okay, I'm still going. My gut went with Cowboys first. When I think the 49ers, they're still in that weird. They're never going to see those Joe Montana days again. This is Dallas Cowboys' game to win. This way, it's their game to lose.
Oh, I like that. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Again, why I feel that way, I have no idea. But Dallas, this is your game, guys. Come on now.
Ryan, you are just the weatherman.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're right or you're wrong. We're all just going to go living it anyway.
I'm not going to lose my job.
All right. Next, we got because I want to save your team for last.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals against the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles.
This is the one that's going to the home team. No team with a bird wins. So you name yourself after a red feathered bird. Yeah, come on. That's a baseball team name. So let's Cardinals.
All right,
Can't
I like
do
that.
it. The power of the power of the bird shall overcome these guys. No.
Yeah.
The home team win there.
See, I know that Brad's got really. I mean, Brad's like is not his Seahawks. Or really has no stake in the game. But I know how much he hates the Rams. He hates the Rams.
Well, there you go.
Not as much as I hate the Cardinals.
Well, the Seahawks. A hawk is a powerful bird. I don't. That's a bird of prey. Yeah. But a cardinal, they eat worms.
You can have a cardinal in your house. That's the thing, right?
Yeah. I could sleep. Yeah, I could sleep with the cardinal in my room, but I'm not gonna sleep with the hawk in my room. I'd be very uncomfortable.
Any mascot that you could sleep with in your house is not a real mascot.
That's right.
Like Carlton the Bear. Well, what's your guys? Yeah, no, Carlton the Bear. Yeah, Maple Leafs. Carlton the Bear. He's a polar bear. And then there's is it
Was it
Oopie?
the Kraken?
Is he a mascot?
Yeah, mascot. And then there's Oopie. Is it Oopie for Montreal?
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't.
You guys stole a mascot. You guys couldn't even come up with your own mascot. He was the mascot for the Expos.
Sorry. I'm not.
Are you out of a job?
Have a giant baseball head as their mascot.
No, man. It's like Elmo, this fat Elmo looking thing. With orange, whatever the heck, fur. I don't know what the hell it is.
It's ridiculous.
It's a lot of vitriol for someone who's a mascot.
That's because he was at the Expos, and I guess the Montreal Canadiens just sat there and said, "Oh, you're unemployed, Oopie? You want to come here, Youpie?
Your team mascot is at a
Youpie,
centerpiece for either American or Canadian Thanksgiving. Like,
What's
that?
that?
Better.
What are you talking about?
A maple leaf?
No, it's Carlton the Bear.
Doesn't make any sense.
Whatever, that's who it is.
Polar bears and maple leaves?
Yes,
Doesn't make any sense.
it's Carlton the Bear. It's always been Carlton the Bear. Just
You're
like
right.
the Blue Jays.
UP was baseball.
Yeah. Just like BJ Birdie. We didn't go and get BJ Birdie. Well, mainly because we still have a baseball team.
Oh, this conversation.
You could just say we gave UP a job. He was out of work.
He's a real Canadian. They're supporting real Canadians over there.
Oh man.
Fellow Canadian lost his job and they found a place to employ him. Sean,
They did.
How
They did.
dare you?
I'm sure
How
he's very.
dare you?
I'm sure he's very happy. Very happy. All right.
It's probably the same guy. It's probably a different guy in the costume.
So now, Ryan, your team.
Yes. Yeah.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are hosting the Philadelphia Eagles.
So I only have one question.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to answer this question, and then it'll help me answer who will win the Super Bowl. So I only have one question. Is Tom Brady playing?
Yes.
Okay, so Tampa Bay not only will win their first round, they will win 2 years in a row the Super Bowl. That's it. That's final. You said it here. Let's timestamp this. This is January 10th, 4:40 p.m. PST time. You heard it here, folks. Put your money Tampa Bay. Done. It's done. Tom Brady's playing. He's playing. I don't care. He's going to win. He's not playing to lose. This guy did not come here to lose. There's just no way.
Tom Brady is such an upstanding citizen. Ryan, let me tell you this. He stayed in the game longer than his coach wanted him to on Sunday because they had nothing left to play for. Because his friend, Rob Gronkowski, needed one more pass to reach a contract incentive for $500,000. And guess who stayed in the game and made sure Ron got his bucks?
See, that's
got
the
a
kind
touchdown
of karma.
and a pass and got $1 million bonus because Tom Brady ain't no sucker.
That kind of karma, you can't. You know what? It's going to come back in a good way. They're going to win. Who's going to be Tom Brady? It's not going to happen. Go.
Aaron Rodgers. That's my only
You know
thing.
where Tom Brady was born, Ryan?
When he was born?
You know where he was born?
No, where? No.
Yeah, Los Angeles, California.
Is that a good spot? Is that where you're
Where
born?
the Super Bowl is this year.
Oh, it's where the. Oh, I see. Okay.
So last
gotcha.
year, maybe it wasn't Los Angeles, but it's that area, right? Southern California.
Sure.
So
He's going to have some hometown heroes there. Yeah.
So last year he becomes the first quarterback ever to win the Super Bowl in his home stadium. And now this year he's going to go back to his birthplace stadium.
It's crazy. I can't wait till he wins it again. I'm so happy for him because I love the detractors. You know why? Because I love the people that get so mad at someone else's success. It's like people getting mad at Jordan or people getting mad at like when you're the best of the game and for so long, so be it. You're the best. And will we ever have another Tom? You're actually seeing. This is just me talking whatever. Like I don't know football, but I know like a legend of whatever sport event. It doesn't matter. This guy's a living legend. Like when are you going to hear the talk of a quarterback doing what he's done again? It might. Yeah,
it's going to be a long time. It's like it's the same thing. Like I was saying. Yeah,
20 years.
Yeah, you know, like it's gonna be the exact same scenario as Wayne Gretzky, right? With all of his lofty records that he owned, and only now we're talking about Alex Ovechkin maybe touching his goals, right?
It's taken a long time.
Did the Wayner have a child with a Hollywood actress and then dump her for a superstar international model named Giselle? And then have 2 kids with her?
No, that's what Tom Brady did.
But Tom Brady is a shelf above everybody else.
His wife's hot.
On and off the field.
She's hot. Is his wife hot?
Is she hot? I don't know. She's a Sports Illustrated cover model for.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good for
she
him.
He makes more money than he does, and he makes a decent amount of money.
Yeah, that's crazy. And he also had Antonio Brown living in his basement. I mean, he's a good man.
There you go. His basement's probably bigger than our house.
I'm certain.
Well, there you go. That's my Super Bowl prediction. I look forward to seeing if I got any of these right. I don't have to. Did you write those down,
we have it all written down.
I wrote them down.
We have it all written
the
down.
Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Cowboys, the Rams, and Tampa Bay, with Tampa Bay going the distance.
There you go. Going the distance.
Yeah. Just speaking of going the distance, Ryan, tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going on with Going the Distance, the podcast. What's going on with this season? Yeah.
Sure. If you're listening to Guys, Beers, and Sports, chances are you might like some action movies or sports in general, or sports films, I should say, in general. If you do, you probably have seen in like the Rocky films. So this is the thing. Like if you listen to podcasts and you want to hear somebody crack wise about the Rocky series and other action films, then come join our network or listen to our network. All you have to do is just Google Last of the Action Heroes Podcast Network, and it will come up. So basically, if you just Google that, it will come up with how you can listen to us on all the various apps. Like it's all the way. If you're listening to a podcast, whatever app you're listening to this one on, we're on it too. So it's easy as that. And in this, so what I did, I started my podcast 6 years ago, just covering the Rocky films. It's called Going the Distance, the Rocky series podcast. And along the way, I met like-minded podcasters who cover other action stars from like Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, the James Bond franchise, Steven Seagal, and Mel Gibson. He's coming on the podcast. Okay, so these are all these guys are different podcasters. And what I did is I reached out to them and said, hey, look, you know, let's join forces. Let's get your listeners with my listeners and my listeners with your listeners type thing. Let's just join forces instead of competing, so to speak, which we never were because we all have different topics. But let's put it under kind of like an action umbrella of the aging action stars. We retitled my feed from the Rocky series podcast. We just retitled it and had everyone upload their episodes on the same feed. And so it's been fantastic. And, you know, now we like cross host with each other, and we get other listeners from other, you know, their shows will come jump on, listen to what I have to say and vice versa. And yeah, it's fantastic. It's a little empire we've built of action podcasts. So that's the one network I have. But then I run my own separate podcast with no networks, just me. It's called The Worst of the Best Podcast. And it's completely different than the action film reviews. It's basically we just take topics such as let's say a band. Your favorite band is Rush, right, Sean?
That is correct there, right?
Yes. So what we do, if we did an episode about Rush, we would either pick what was considered their best album of all time critically, or their best selling of all time, which doesn't have to be their best, you know. So we pick whatever, and then we'd pick from that album their worst song. But we go through each song track by track in order, and we talk about it. And then at the end, independent of each other, whoever's hosting with me will say, this is what is the worst song on this album. And we do albums, we do movie careers or franchises, we do food, conspiracy theories, whatever the list might be. And then we pick what we think is the worst from that list, independent of each other. We don't reveal what the worst pick is until the very end. You know, we try not to, you know, we try to bury the lead the whole time. And yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, variety of topics. So that's what we like about that show. Is just every every week is a different topic. So I'm not, as much as I love talking about Rocky and Sly, it's like, okay, what I love about the worst of the best is like, it's a different, and I'm learning something different every week too when I research this stuff. So yeah, check it out. The worst of the best podcast. So there you go.
What are we coming to host or co-host or guest or what have you there, Ryan?
It will happen. Well, I've got a
I know you were busy. You were busy there. You were legitimately busy.
I was gone for 4 months and I just got back for a month. And yeah, things are kind of slowing down where I can start looking into that. I'll talk to you guys offline. You let me know if you want to do the worst of the best or if you want to talk and crack wise on an action film. So let me know. Or you can talk now if you want.
Or Ryan, either or.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm there. I'm all about any of that. So that sounds completely awesome. And by the way, guys, I love Ryan as a podcaster. I love him as a human being, but as an orator on his podcast, he's very whimsical, funny, and just has a nice deep voice when he's going into his descriptions about things. It's very nice. It's very nice.
I like to go deep. So
deep and the distance. Ryan raises the bar just by logging on here.
Ryan, how many children do you have, Ryan?
Okay, all right. I have 6. Okay, so
I mean, Ryan, I have 5. I mean, I don't know if there's to be embarrassed about.
Nothing to be embarrassed about. No, it's yeah, I know. I finally figured out how they come into existence.
Did you? I tried to solve that problem medically. It didn't work. I'm a superhero.
Yeah, don't tell me that story.
Brad is right? Yes, he is Wolverine from the X-Men.
That scares me.
I've defeated every form of birth control except for my wife's tubes being tied, and I'm working on that right now.
Let's do it. I'm there. And your wife is your wife is very attractive. You don't deserve her. Okay, so Sean,
my coverage. I know this. It's all you need to know about my philosophy.
No, I do deserve her.
All of us married way above our weight class.
We did, absolutely.
I think we can all say that pretty. Confidently. Yeah.
Joanna is very pretty and extremely intelligent.
Yeah. And I know. I look over at her and they're going, "What is she doing with me?"
Yeah, I know. Before I go, Sean, because I have a hard out in 7 minutes, but I want to talk a little bit about the Habs before I leave, because anyone that's listening to this podcast, because I jumped on board today, they probably know I'm a Habs fan, because I'm going to plug this on my socials. I'll talk about the Habs. So this year, it's gone beyond disappointing in the sense of like, it's almost, and then first it's like you're disappointed and you're angry, and then it's kind of funny, now it's like, it's just sad. It's just the whole no, hear me out. What I mean by that is like, it's sad not because they're the second worst team in the league right now, points wise, but it's not even the team. Like, I know people are saying on Toronto, especially Toronto fans, oh, you guys are you're not even, you're in the finals 1 year and now you're but this isn't even the same team. There's something going on that we traded all these guys over the offseason. We basically partly we created this mess. Absolutely, it's our fault. And the other part of it's just bad luck with injuries, with Carey Price and his mental health stuff.
That was a big thing. That's
huge.
Yeah, that was your MVP. Let's face it. And he missed.
That's our LeBron James. That's our Tom Brady. That's our guy. Like you only certain players. They're star players for also not a star player. They're the best of the best. So, and I've always said, imagine if every one of our players, like any team, all things being equal, we're healthy. If this was a healthy team, the team that Bergevin built before this whole fiasco, if everyone was healthy at the beginning and stayed healthy for the first 2 months, we might be having a different conversation. I don't want to say they're going to be the best in the league, but they wouldn't be the
listen, Bergevin. Finish your point, actually, because I have a lot to say on this. But
okay, well, I'll just say, as a Habs fan, of course, it saddens me, and it's but now we're in interesting waters. I should even say that. So now we've gone beyond the sad. Now we're just like, okay, where do we go from here? We have some interesting draft picks coming up. Now the question is, do we keep Price? Like, I don't think, honestly. Here's my prediction: we're never going to see Carey Price play in a Habs jersey again.
In Seattle.
I thought he was going to get signed to Seattle, quite honestly, during the draft expansion.
Yeah, that was a real possibility. Seattle just didn't take him, and no, it was a real possibility. He signed his released his no trade clause. He said, no, I'll go wherever. I'll go to Seattle if they pick me. They didn't, which tells you something. Now that he never plays as much. Granted, he goes to the mental health I'm not saying there's a conspiracy here, but 1 month before the season, or 2 weeks before the season starts, all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I better check myself in." Like, he's never playing in a Habs jersey again. That's my prediction. Now, I could be wrong, but what's the point at this point in his career? He's got 4 years left on his contract. He's 34 years old. Just trade him to a team like Edmonton or some team that has the firepower to make some waves in the playoffs.
Well, Edmonton had a goaltender, yeah. If Edmonton had a real goaltender,
yes. If they had a guy that knows how, look, Price, not the best regular season goalie in the world, but whatever reason, he turns it on in those playoffs. Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing: how Kraken scores, but we're scoring 5 goals a night. We're just giving up 6.
So Seattle still needs a goaltender.
They have Philip Grubauer, right, from Colorado, and he's just not living up to who he's supposed to be. But I was calling that last season.
You're a Kraken fan, right, Brad?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's their first year, and there's gonna be some buzz. But how excited would the Kraken fan base be if Price came?
You're over the top. I think there's enough. I mean, it's just, we give up so many bad goals that we end up lose by a goal that, like, it's just
okay.
I have a look,
and that's the thing is, as a Price fan, I love him and I want him to be happy, and I'm willing to, like. It's the funny thing is, I want him to win the cup. I don't care who, as long as it's not Tampa or Toronto. I don't care who he wins the cup for. Joking aside, but I want him to win the cup. I really want him to win that cup. He deserves it, and I want him to get traded to a team that will take him there. And I think a Seattle team would be fun. I don't know if they would take him there next 3 to 4 years. Maybe they would. But what team would you say, Sean?
Well, I mean, all right. So first off, what's his contract at the last 4 years?
I think he's got 4 more years on it. Like,
yeah, but it's like 10 or 12 million. It's something ridiculous,
right? I think we would waive some of that or whatever it is. You'd
have to eat it. Yeah, you'd have to eat that. And to me, I mean, Carey Price is not your problem. Your problem was Marc Bergevin right from the start. Right from the start. He should have been fired last year, but he fluked his way thanks to Corey Perry knocking out Johnny T. In the plot, in the post, you knock him out.
Okay, you know what?
You knocked him out. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. It happens.
You guys won 3 games without him. You won 3 games without him.
Yeah. But we needed him for that 4th. It's just the way it is, But here's the thing. Montreal made it. Like, I don't care. You know what? Sometimes, as Brad likes to say, a garbage can gets steak as well. So
here we
that's
go.
fine. That's fine. But here's my thing, though, okay? Marc Bergevin, listen, he did a great job doing whatever he did. I thought he was a brilliant play by sitting out all the rookies last season, the first couple of games. But then look at Cole Caulfield this season. They sent him down to the AHL. All of a sudden, it's like, I'm not friends with Montreal anymore. And like takes him off of his Instagram and everything like that. Like, you can't have that kind of attitude. You already knew with your top defenseman, with Shea Weber, he was going to be retiring because of all the injuries and everything like that. Wasn't coming back. Right. It's like, oh wow, this is a shell of a team. So it's just like you're trying to build back with the young guys. You're going to have some growing pains. It's just the way it is, right?
Right.
And you're exactly right. You guys went for Jake Allen to hope to get some goaltending,
right?
And he has not turned out to be the guy that he should be.
But sometimes the cost of a championship is a couple of years of floundering.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
What's worse than that is not winning a championship and still having to flounder.
No, Toronto's going to win the cup this year. That's my other prediction. Wrong.
Have you seen the Toronto Maple Leafs this season?
I know they're a strong team.
They're a very strong team.
We've also seen the last 16 years of postseason play, Sean.
Unlike a lot of Toronto fans, I'm not blind to what the reality of whatever's happening on the ring. Yeah, they're a strong team, but they're still not going to get around past the first round.
Who was talking to you? Who was talking to you last postseason, encouraging you about your team, that your team's got a chance against Vegas? Your team's got a chance here. Your team's got a chance.
I know. You're a good man. I appreciate that.
Because you know what? I just wanted to see a Canadian team win, and it hurt. It hurt having to swallow that pride.
And the reason why Montreal went as far as they did was for Shea Weber.
Yeah. Shea Weber was him, and Carey Price were just lights out.
And they played and now the Shea doesn't play and Carey doesn't play. The team, absolutely. Their leadership. It's unfortunate because these are young kids. They have not a losing mentality. It's not the right word, but they're in a losing culture right now, and it's hard for them to get developed. They don't have any veterans to play with, and now the COVID. There's 22 players with COVID or whatever. It's a gong show. So I don't even know who. There's there's people playing that I don't even know who they are. I'll see a score or something like, who is that? I have no idea who that is.
Somebody from the AHL team there just got called up, right?
Yeah, we're actually drawing ECHL players.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
Like it's getting to the point where it's like, and these guys, they're not ready for the big league, but we have no choice. We have to have a roster.
Yeah.
Hey Ryan, I know you're up against it, so you want to plug yourself before we?
Well, I appreciate that, Brad. Yeah, Sean, he can go on. He's no respecter of time. Just I love you, Sean, and Brad. I love you too. And you guys are great, truly. I'll get back to listening to your show. I just didn't listen to it with the 4 months I was gone because by then it's old news what happens in the sports world. But I look forward to hearing if my predictions go well. Also, catch me again on Last of the Action Heroes Podcast Network. There's a lot of great shows there. Just Google that, you'll find it. And if you want to listen to something that's not action film type reviews, then check me out on The Worst of the Best podcast. Again, there's a variety of topics there, and there's got to be a topic there out of our 100 plus episodes that you'll find interesting. And if you like the cut of our jib there, you'll probably enjoy the other topics as well. So thank you so much, guys. I do appreciate it. And good luck on the rest of the show, and go Tampa.
I love it, Ryan. And we'll have you on to see if your predictions are right there sometime.
Sure. Follow-up episode, sure. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely.
Ryan, welcome back. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks, John. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, Ryan. Love you, buddy. Man, I like it. I like having Ryan on because he's so good natured, and the way he likes to pick his teams, you can't even fault him for that. It's just, maybe he's got it right, Brad. Maybe all this analytical stuff and looking at plays and looking at the games, maybe he's just picking the uniform.
He might be.
I don't know.
He's not wrong. You know, I like to stick with my West Coast people. I'm taking home. That's where we live.
That's it. Oh, my man. I could not believe that game, like I said last night. That was crazy. Whether that would have happened or not, were they going to take the formation?
Yeah, we'll never know.
You know, but
it sure felt like it though, didn't it?
It did. It did.
Felt like that. I didn't think it was that way until they got the ball back last time, and I thought, oh, here it is. Here's where they, sit on it.
I was enamored the whole game of just the way it was, just a punch and counter punch. It was like a heavyweight boxing match, and they played it up. But did you think that they were honoring Al Davis and John Madden in that game, that probably put some fire under all those Raiders? Like, I mean, I don't know.
I think the whole season, I think, put that underneath them. Everything they've been through, all the turmoil, I mean, they've had their issues, right? And then to be able to come out and have a shot at the end, to get to the promised land. This is the second time, I think, in 19 years that they've made the playoffs.
Both within, one was the 2010s and one was just now, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so Derek Carr has never been.
No.
Yeah.
Derek Carr made the playoffs, didn't he?
He broke his leg in the season finale. He didn't play.
So then it was 2002. Then the last time they made the playoffs.
Yeah, the last time they made the playoffs was 2002, and they went to the Super Bowl. They haven't been back. They made it in a year, but Derek Carr has never made it to the playoffs. So
that's crazy.
Good for him.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, and Joe Burrows, I think, took that next step for their franchise, or the Bengals, in order to get to the postseason.
Jamar Chase is a wildly talented receiver. Jamar Chase broke Ocho Cinco's Chad Ogocinco Johnson, or one of the great prolific receivers of our era, right?
Yeah.
Jamar Chase broke his record as a rookie.
Insane. And then with Joe Mixon.
Yeah. I think the Bengals are really a team to be dealt with in the AFC. I think they're
a Jekyll and Hyde. They're a Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
They are.
We'll see. This is one of the best times of the years.
Oh yeah.
Wild card weekend, divisional round,
But here's the thing, is that you can catch that feeling, and then you can ride that all the way out. You catch that feeling, you ride that one all the way out. That's unbelievable. I
really like San Francisco's chances. I don't know who wants to play San Francisco right now. That defense is stout.
Doesn't it sound like a team of destiny? Like, it's so weird because I keep calling them that they're not going to win every week, and somehow they pull something out.
They got a good road. The only team that as I see that's on there that they're not going to be able to run with is Tampa Bay. I think they can play with
Green Bay.
With Green Bay, I think they could play. If Philadelphia somehow got by, that's an easy walk for them. I think they handle either the Rams or the Cardinals. I mean, I think,
But that's the thing. I think the Cardinals right now are they're on the ropes. Like,
oh, they look terrible.
Yeah, they're on the ropes. Like they were.
You know what's interesting? All year, right? I've been dogging Russell Wilson and saying that this whole thing's over.
Yeah.
I saw a spark in Russell Wilson a couple weeks ago, and I don't know that I feel like that anymore.
Well, do you see that tweet that Pete Carroll put out that's our quarterback? Period.
Yeah, I think Pete Carroll might be gone, but I think that Russell Wilson stays. I don't think he asked for a trade.
Yeah, I think he probably liked what he was seeing. That
sometimes remember I was thinking about this morning. Tom Brady had a little spot there when he came back from his ACL the first time.
That's right.
And he was disgruntled, and there was some talk about him getting traded, and he was upset with Bill Belichick and all those things.
That's so long ago.
And then when he came back, though, right, he saw the grass and he saw, what life meant to him off the field and what the guys meant to him when he wasn't able to be around them. And I think that Russell had that when he did that thing with his finger, because they're not far out from being like, Seattle.
They were still competitive. They were in the playoff hunt. Like
missing Russell Wilson for 4 weeks is what I'm saying, right?
That's exactly it.
You want to flip 2 of those games and they go 2-2 in those games instead of 0-4. They're in the playoffs.
Exactly. I agree with you. It's a playoff.
This is a wild thing that I read today that I wouldn't have thought was true until someone did the math. Is that Seattle finished top 5 in rushing per yard or rushing per game, and also in rushing yards allowed. And that's the first time since 2014 they've been in the top 5 on both of those categories.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's Legion of Boom stuff there.
Yep. Yeah. So just unfortunate, some injuries and those things that happened, and here we are. But
so. Do you agree with Ryan's picks there for the wild card weekend there?
Yeah, I'm on board actually.
I think
that I would take Cincinnati instead of the Raiders. But otherwise, and I would take the Niners instead of the Cowboys.
I was actually pretty confident with his picks. Yeah, I can see why you say the Niners over the Cowboys. I guess it all depends on what team comes out there.
We'll never know.
You
never know beforehand, right?
But the Raiders and the Bengals, yeah, I think I would pick the Bengals before the Raiders as well. But the rest of his picks were pretty spot on, I thought. Jeez,
he did well. He did well,
man.
So would you also take Cincinnati, or are you going to stick with the Raiders?
No, I'm gonna take Cincinnati just because of who they got. Joe Mixon, Joe Burrows. It's a good team. It's a really good team. It's not Andy Dalton in the postseason.
No.
And plus they're due, right? They're due to win one.
You know that Joe Burrows has already won before.
With LSU? Yeah, that's good.
You can't tell me that that's not a real.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean? Absolutely.
It's the same swagger that Mac Jones has right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well, what about what's his name? That quarterback played the one game there for Ohio State. Cardinal Jones.
He played more than one game.
Well, the one game that mattered.
The one season.
The one game that mattered he played. He unbelievable that game.
Made him millions of dollars.
It did. Actually, he did get signed. I think he was like third string quarterback for the Buffalo Bills there.
He was their first round pick, wasn't he? Second round pick?
Second round, yeah, not first round. Yeah.
That's still a couple of guaranteed mil.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't complain about that. What do you think? What do you think of Lamar Jackson? Do you think he's all done now, or do you think he's still got a lot more?
No, I think that he's hurt. I think that he's hurt. I think he's really hurt.
Yeah, like real bad. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out he has surgery in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. I think.
What do you think of Baker Mayfield's future in Cleveland? Because there's a lot of rumors there.
I don't know where he goes. He's an upgrade with the money that he wants.
Right. Because he's getting that shoulder surgery, and the thing is that because he's off of his rookie contract this year, right? Like this is it.
Yep.
Now you got to pay him the real.
Yeah,
big
and the
bucks.
surgery on his shoulder is on his non-throwing shoulder, so not as critical.
Right.
It doesn't stop you from getting paid somewhere.
Yeah.
But where is he an upgrade? The Giants?
That might be it.
I mean,
I don't think David Jones.
The Jets are going to ride with their guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think-
right, wrong, or indifferent, they're riding there.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins can't get out of Minnesota. That money's too great. They still owe
Yeah.
him like $70 million.
Yeah.
He's not. I mean, Denver's an attractive place, right? All the offensive weapons that Denver has in that
Yeah.
line, they're going
And
to.
I think they're done with Teddy Bridgewater. I think that experiment now is.
I think so. Also,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, there's a big man. If you think Aaron Rodgers isn't looking to go to Denver right now, like if you're John Elway, right, you're on the phone to Aaron Rodgers' agent saying like, "Hey, who does he want to coach this team? You tell me who he wants. I'll get that guy right now."
Yeah.
Like Aaron Rodgers becomes a Denver Broncos.
You don't think he wants to go back to San Fran or something like that? San
I
Fran's
don't
in
think
need of him.
San Francisco wants him. I think that's why they got Trey Lance, or maybe they drafted Trey Lance for draft capital. Maybe they think they can trade him out.
Yeah. Because
Do
like
you
to
think
me,
Trey
it's
Lance
like
is better. Is Trey Lance better than? I mean, would you rather have? Can you trade Jimmy Garoppolo for Aaron Rodgers, and you would have Jimmy G and Jordan Love, and you would have Aaron Rodgers and Trey Lance? Does that make sense?
if you're looking to win a championship one time,
Inside the same division or conference? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe.
it's
It'd be scary,
possible.
Man, if Devontae Adams follows him and they both go to San Francisco, like that team's a freaking juggernaut.
Yeah, there's no stopping San Fran at that point, I think. Yeah,
It's crazy. As tight as their defense is, you put
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams on the team. I mean, you can say about almost any team, but like that team specifically.
And one last thing I wanted to say as well is that, one thing that Ryan brought up that I thought was a brilliant point, that Tom Brady's a winner. Think about it. That guy went from one whole system, one whole team, different teammates, everything like that, to a whole nother system, team, everything like that, and got them the win. And they look just as effective. Yeah. And they look just as effective this season as they did last season, And he's
what's
already
going to hurt
proven.
them is that having their being short, their two of their top three receivers going in the postseason is not ideal. If Leonard Fournette's healthy, we'll see how that shakes out. But
if there's anybody
I wouldn't bet against them. That defense is stout.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet against it.
And if there's anybody that can make a wide receiver, it's Tom Brady.
If there's anyone that can do it, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's why
The list of quarterbacks that I will not bet against is two. It's Joe Montana and Tom Brady.
in a championship game, I have to agree with you.
That's what I'm saying. When it matters, when all chips are down, who are the guys that you would not bet against?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Because your betting odds go down real bad if you're going up against Tom Brady. Absolutely, he's made Hall of Fame quarterbacks look like average pedestrians.
Yeah. 20 years in.
And he's faced them all. He's faced them all.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Not only has he faced them all, he's beaten them all.
That's right. It's crazy to think about it, is that he's not just playing against these young guys. He's the few people that are his peers, he's still beating them as well.
Most quarterbacks that win have a nemesis, right? Like Brett Favre had his, and Aaron Rodgers and Aikman. They've all had. Who's Tom Brady's?
Who's Tom Brady's nemesis?
Yeah.
It had to have been Peyton Manning.
But Tom beat him every time.
I know, but that was his.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make him.
Do you think that Tom Brady
competing against? But that's not who was beating him.
Well, then it has to be Eli Manning then, because he's the only guy that beat him that he's never beat.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? It's one of the Mannings. You know what I mean?
The little one. That's worse.
Yeah. Maybe because he just, he thought that it was supposed to be Peyton and didn't realize that it was Eli that was really his nemesis. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you take that helmet catch out and then,
Hey, that's history. You're exactly right, though.
I'm not shooting it down. I'm just saying,
Man, all right, you got a one-on-one question for me, man. I missed you, so I really hope you had something here.
I have one for you.
Yes.
It's an interesting one. I don't know that I like the answer to it, but
Okay.
LeBron James has the potential, and it feels like the likelihood of owning all of the youngest two ever and the oldest two ever records in the NBA. Does that make him the greatest basketball player of all time?
We're doing this one, eh? No, it makes him a holder of 4 records. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's the first to 1,000 points.
Yeah. No, it just makes him. It makes him
the youngest to have a triple double, the oldest to have a triple double.
Yeah. It makes him the best to do that for those time period. You know what I mean?
Who else does that? Who else is doing that?
There's nobody. But Michael Jordan. Listen, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan didn't do it either. You know how I feel about this conversation. Like this is not.
But Michael Jordan was too busy winning. That's the thing.
But he still wasn't the oldest to win defensive MVP or any of those things, right?
Yeah.
MVP, oldest to score 40 in a game. That's not Mike. Right. Youngest to score 40 in a game.
Right. I see where you're going, but I still am having a hard time being in camp.
I hate it. Listen, Sean, I hate it. You know how I feel about this conversation.
Yeah. I just can't do it. But I think that if you have to go there, I mean, like again, he's in the top 5 of all time to me, maybe conversation wise, in the top 5 all time.
He's still behind Kobe for me, which is behind Michael.
Right. And that's 3.
Probably behind. He's probably still behind Shaq and Kareem and Wilt Chamberlain and Magic and Bob Cousy and
your list goes deep, man. That's deep. I like
he's the best player. He's the best player of his generation. I'll give him that, but he's not the best ever.
I think that's probably more accurate. That's most accurate. Yeah. All right. Going back, my one-on-one question, because just what Ryan said really intrigued me. If the Seattle Kraken had a chance to get Carey Price, this is now 34-year-old Carey Price. Montreal's willing to bite $4 million of that $12 million. You're paying $8 million for a starting goaltender. Does Seattle want that much money put into somebody right off the bat? And is it a good move?
So it translates the wins into star power. That's what they're looking for right now. 3 years of star power? Yeah, take it right now.
You know, when I had a look at that team, I really thought that team was well put together. Because if you have a look at it, Philip Grubauer on paper should be a lot better than what he's playing. Yeah. Mark Giordano, I know he's at the end of his career, but he's still a great defenseman. There are some players on your team. Jordan Eberle is a great player. I'm really surprised because they can score. Like you said, they can score. It's just somehow defensively they break down, and then there's some softies going in. I watched a couple of games, and
when it matters, that's what drives me crazy.
Yeah,
right? You got momentum on your side, and it's a momentum killer, and you give a goal up and you lose. It's just terrible.
And that's the thing about hockey, though, is that momentum. You feel that shift happening. Yep. If they get 1 and then 2, you know what I mean? It's like worse. Yeah, because now you know. Yeah, they've smelled that blood. Then you know,
blood on the ice, never good. Okay, kids. With that, brings us to the end of our episode. Always a pleasure, Sean. Don't forget, folks, go find us on the Sports Podcast Awards. Vote for us. We would appreciate it. I don't know how to say about it. It's humbling to be even on the list, but it'd be great to win it. So we're in for a celebration if we get that trophy. I'll tell you that right now.
Absolutely. Secondly, guys, thank you so much for all the support, all of the listening. We've noticed a big increase. Please keep listening, subscribing, tell your friends, get out there.
Tell your parents. My mom loves it. I'm sure yours will too.
Absolutely.
Until next time, kids.
You've listened to the podcast, but now it's time to visit us in our virtual sports bar. Get all of our info at guysbeersports.com, where you can find all the ways to connect with us. Watch for live conversations with Brad and Sean that happen throughout the week, and join in with your favorite local beer. You can share your thoughts in the conversation comments with your own uploaded videos, or even join us as a guest live commentator. The GBS Virtual Sports Bar is open for business. Come on in, boys and girls.